Welcome back to Houston Life. Although it only ran for 2 seasons, unbelievable. 1964's The Munsters is one of truly the most iconic TV series of all time, especially for all those ghosts and goblins who love Halloween around the clock.
And one of the show's stars, that guy on the screen right there, Butch Patrick in real life, he played child werewolf Eddie Munster, and he is in Houston with the ghouliest car, arguably, in television history.
Like
it's
that.
the Munster coach, and you're here for a very special pop-up event. Let's talk about that event and what brought you here, because it's pretty cool that you have the car.
It really is. I'm actually delivering the car to its new owner, Nicholas Leone, who owns Amazing Galleries Artists, and he's having a thing at Complete Pictures, so we're co-producing an event. I'm delivering the car to him. We're going to be out there today with some celebrity artists. We have Alan Bodner, wonderful artist. We have John Douglas, who's the drummer for Aerosmith, and he's an artist. I'm going to be there. There's Munster art. There's cartoons. There's Chuck Jones. Everything you might want to be, looking at, there's out there today. And there's also candy and costumes for the kids.
Well, you got to love it. And I love that this is actually falling on Halloween.
Yeah.
Here's all the event details so you can mark this out. Get there today from 4 to 7, free admission. But how cool is it to see the coach up close and personal? I mean, I know you've had this car for a number of years, but it is just the neatest part of iconic piece of that series, besides yourself.
Well, one of the favorite parts of the show, we had a great show, but George Barris, the king of the customizers, supplied us with the original Munster coach and the Dragula. And being an 11-year-old kid, I was like, I'd read my script on Monday morning, I go, oh boy, the coach is going to be here. So it's carried over into my adulthood, but I forget sometimes how much people respond to it and how they respond to it, because I drive it all the time, and then when I pull up and I go, oh, I forget that people just love this car.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Breathtaking and so shiny. This is a live look right outside our studios here at KPRC.
Yeah, that's basically, it's got a big block Chevy, and it's made of 2 T-buckets with a 29 touring coupe in the back and Jaguar suspension. It's very dependable. It's kind of like a workhorse coach, where the George Barris's car were more of a showcase, a show car.
Right. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, Butch, I got to ask you, you said you're 11 years old. I mean, when you first auditioned for this show, you had some gigs under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, General Hospital? So it wasn't your first gig.
No.
But besides having the actor experience, you said something in you, I read, that you were destined to play this part. Something about your chompers.
Well,
right?
my eye teeth stuck straight out, and yes, and it was funny because I was living in the Midwest with my grandmother after the real McCoys, and they had already cast it, but the networks weren't happy with the mother and the child, so they wanted to recast Eddie, and Lily was called Phoebe, so they changed her name to Lily. They flew me out for a screen test, which was kind of rare for a kid to go straight from the airport to the studio, meet Yvonne DiCarlo, test with her, and then they say, don't go home, report to wardrobe.
Wow.
And it altered my life in a good way for 58 years ago.
What an iconic role and an iconic show. As Courtney mentioned at the top, it's hard to believe it ran only 2 seasons, but you packed in a ton of episodes. I mean, these days, a series will do like maybe 8 episodes or 10 episodes. You shot 39 episodes that first season.
Yep, 31 the second for a total of 70. And then we did the color movie at the end of the run. And it never really went off the air, and it was just one of those shows that people just remember vividly, and most of them love it.
Well, and look at these characters we're seeing on screen. Maybe you could tell us what's the response when you roll up in the coach and people see you and they meet you and they see the car. I feel like this show really taps into a sense of nostalgia for so many of us, because we remember watching the show as kids, and a show that our parents and grandparents, many of them, watched as well.
Well, a couple things. Number one, the phones come out. Everybody wants to be paparazzi when this car is around. But the show itself was a believable family unit. People respond, what were they like, in person? I go, it was very much like you saw on television, except we were universal monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, but we were a believable family unit, and the warmth there and the camaraderie, and I think it conveyed through the set that we were actually having a good time. 100%.
I have childhood memories of that, and I'm so glad you brought it up, because you rooted for the Munsters, like, even though they were different, right? They were the monsters, and but you wanted to be part of their family.
Yeah, you never thought of him as Frankenstein. He was Herman Munster.
Yes,
and Lily Munster, and we all sat down at the dinner table. Whatever trouble we had in the episode, Herman, had a nice little moral compass and good vibe to figure it out.
Butch, I think it's really great. It's also so fun seeing these old clips from the show. A lot of child actors, when they have a defining role, like a role in the Munsters, it seems like a lot of child actors, they want to turn their backs on that. They want to be known for other things. Your career, you did go on playing on all kinds of other shows. I Dream of Jeannie, The Monkees, the list goes on and on and on. But I think it's great that you have embraced this role, and at this stage in your life, that you are still out there promoting goodwill for the Munsters.
Well, you know what happened in 1982 when MTV came on the air? I had kind of distanced myself as a teenager, but when I turned 30, I did Whatever Happened to Eddie, and it was the first unsigned act on MTV, and it brought me back into the Munster forefront with the fans. And the fans just loved the show, and you just interacted with them. It was a positive moment. It turned into a positive thing. Comic-Cons were starting and conventions were starting. And I feel blessed that I'm able to go out and meet people and just be part of their happy childhoods.
Oh, well, it's so great. It's such a pleasure to meet you. And so glad that you're here in town. We do want to bring up the event information one more time. Again, Butch will be out at 4 p.m. and you see there at Complete Pictures on West Alabama. It is free admission. Go and check out the coach and Butch as well for more information about the Munster Mash Art Extravaganza. We do have a link on our website as well. That's on that Scene On section of HoustonLife.tv. Butch Patrick, it's great to see you and meet you.
And if they get here fast enough, they can follow me there.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
Be careful what you ask for.
Check out that Munster coach. All right. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.
After the break, a look at what's coming up on tomorrow's show.
Don't go away. Houston Life will be right back.